Bitcoin, the bug is spreading like a wildfire across nations and states. Fiat monies are being inflated, losing purchasing power at a record pace for the industrialized world. Luckily, Bitcoin has a verifiable limited supply, meaning it's the first truly scarce asset this world has ever seen. Adoption is coming, and things are about to change across the US and the globe. Are you ready for the change?
Change!
Well, we will show you the way in about 10 minutes because it's time for Chico Crypto. Bitcoin's grown up since its inception in 2009. Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin to unleash the power of the people and take away the power from the centralized financial institutions. From the get-go, he envisioned Bitcoin becoming a global currency. Back in 2010, 1 year after it was launched into this world, he chimed in on a thread about the divisibility of Bitcoin due to the growth of the network and the demand. Satoshi said, "Eventually, at most, only 21 million coins for 6.8 billion people in the world if it really gets huge." Well, it has gotten really huge. Back then, 2010, only 21 million coins for the 6.8 billion people in the world. And that rings true today, the 21 million Bitcoins. But instead, for 6.8 billion people, that number has grown to 7.9 billion today. The global scarcity of Bitcoin grows with each passing day. Although I'm sure Satoshi could have never imagined it would grow to the point where countries of this globe were adopting it as legal tender and issuing bonds based on it. We all know about El Salvador. Back in September of last year, lawmakers in the country voted by a supermajority in favor of the Bitcoin law, which allows Bitcoin to be used to show prices and pay tax contributions. And this was announced to the world by their president, Nayib Bukele. Now, just 7 months later, the nation is taking it a step further and issuing country-backed Bitcoin bonds. March 15th, a nation-state will be issuing the first ones this world has ever seen. The dominoes for Bitcoin's global takeover are just beginning, and it's not only El Salvador moving on the Bitcoin front. Just last week, news dropped that the third most powerful country has the Bitcoin fever. The Russian government and its central bank agreed to treat Bitcoin as a form of currency within their borders, and the legislation for this will be released this week on Friday, February 18th. So the question that remains is who will be next? Which will be the next country domino to fall? Or could it be a state within my home country, the United States? Well, let's first take a look at it on a country level. Right after El Salvador made it official back in September, another Central American country unveiled a bill to make Bitcoin legal tender within their borders. That was Panama. Although the law hasn't been passed yet, Panama is the furthest country along in the race to be the second to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. Because of the moves by El Salvador and now Panama, this is spreading like wildfire through Central and South America. Besides Panama, there is evidence from government officials that Bitcoin is looking to be adopted by Mexico, Nicaragua, Venezuela, Brazil, and Argentina. Across the border and down south, the Bitcoin adoption wave is so strong. And I don't doubt for a second at least 2 more countries will indeed follow El Salvador's example and make Bitcoin legal tender in 2022. It could possibly be even more than 2. But what about on American home soil? Could an actual state adopt Bitcoin on a level never before seen? Like even making it a legal tender? Well, I'm predicting that this is going to happen, as there is evidence some states are getting the Bitcoin bug too. So let's go through the top contenders and why they may be planning big Bitcoin moves. Beginning with the big old yeehaw state of Texas. September 9th, just days after El Salvador legalized Bitcoin for tender, Texas made some of their own BTC moves. Texas House Bill 4474 was signed, which recognized cryptocurrencies in the state's Uniform Commercial Code. But that wasn't it. The same day, they also passed House Bill 1576, which established a blockchain working group in the state. Texas has recognized Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and they're making a state-backed blockchain working group to explore the technologies? I wonder why. Well, if you didn't know, Texas is becoming the Bitcoin mining mecca of the states. As of today, Texas is marshaling 900 to 1,100 kilowatt hours to produce Bitcoin. At the higher number, that's already 7.6% of the world's consumption. Within 2 years, Texas is expected to reach 3,000 to 5,000 kilowatt hours, which would put it between 20 to 30% of the world's consumption of electricity for mining Bitcoin. Now the leaders of Texas are all in on Bitcoin too. Current Governor Greg Abbott has shown his support by of course signing the crypto bills, but also tweeting that Texas will be the crypto leader. Current Texas Senator Ted Cruz has said he is proud the state is becoming a blockchain oasis, reiterating his support for Bitcoin miners. And then last week, filings showed he is buying Bitcoin. But what about Bitcoin as legal tender in Texas? Could that be a coming possibility? Well, a Texas politician, Dallas Senator Don Huffins, is running for governor. Going to his campaign page, he talks of Bitcoin and his plans if elected. Don says, "When I am governor, Texas will lead our nation in Bitcoin by accomplishing the following policy: establishing the Bitcoin and Cryptocurrency Policy Commission, which will be tasked with identifying the utility of currencies that can be recognized as accepted Texas currency. This will allow trade to occur with Bitcoin and declaring Bitcoin as legal tender for Texas citizens and businesses to transact in." Bitcoin legal tender in Texas? It's definitely on the agenda for some of the state's top politicians. So what other states are bringing Bitcoin laws within their borders? Well, Wyoming got the state dominoes to begin falling all the way back in 2019. Senate File 125 was passed by the Wyoming Senate back in February of that year and became effective that year in July. This act established the legal nature of digital assets within existing law, dividing these assets into 3 categories of intangible personal property and classifying these assets within the Uniform Commercial Code of the state. Well, they didn't stop by just recognizing decentralized assets. Last year, they went even further by recognizing decentralized organizations, aka DAOs. Senate File 0038 became effective last July, and the bill created a supplement to the Wyoming Limited Liability Company Act to provide law controlling the creation and management of a DAO. What about the state leaders? Well, Republican Wyoming Senator Cynthia Lummis is one of Bitcoin and crypto's biggest supporters, nicknaming Bitcoin in her own words, freedom money. Money? So what about Bitcoin as legal tender in Wyoming? Well, a bill has been drafted and submitted to get this going. The bill was submitted by House member Andrew Ocean, and it wants to make it legal for residents to use any cryptocurrency to pay sales and use taxes in the state. Now, both Texas and Wyoming are definite leaders in crypto and Bitcoin, and their states are becoming crypto capitals before our eyes. But neither of them have an official bill submitted to their state legislators to make Bitcoin legal tender. Although there is one state that does, Arizona. Now, Arizona becoming a champion of cryptocurrency goes back to 2019, when a ballot initiative was filed and put forward titled the Arizona Cryptocurrency as Legal Tender Initiative, or the Legal Tender Act. And it would have allowed cryptocurrency to be deemed legal tender as an authorized medium of exchange and for payment of debt and taxes within the state. Although that initiative didn't make it onto the 2020 ballot. But they are trying again, and this time the bill and initiative is coming from a state senator, Wendy Rogers. This is Arizona State Bill 1341, and it seeks to amend the list of accepted legal tender to include one asset. As we can see from the bill, it is Bitcoin, which means the cryptocurrency would be accepted for the payment of debt, public charges, taxes, and other dues. So, my friends, we have Texas, Wyoming, and Arizona pushing for big changes in regards to cryptocurrency. But it's not only these states. California was the first to bring forward a form of crypto regulation in 2014, with its bill stating digital currencies were legal in transmitting payments and buying goods. There is Nevada passing friendly laws too. There's Colorado, New Mexico, Rhode Island, and more. There is no doubt that their new ways of thinking are going to face pushback from the powers that be. But remember, 2022 is an election year, and this may be the year Bitcoin gets elected by a state to become legal tender, along with another country or two besides El Salvador. Cheers, I'll see you next time.